Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Today, unboxing an overview of this Acer 32-inch 4K Ultra HD IPS desktop computer monitor. What is this and why should you care? This is quite simply the best deal in a large format 4K monitor on the market today, at least in my opinion. Just over $600. Now, that may sound like a lot of money, and it is, but for what you get, it's actually a really good deal. Now, if you're not in the market for a $600 monitor, if you've got a $200 budget, well, of course, this is not the monitor for you. But if you are thinking of buying a premium monitor, if you want to buy something that's large, high resolution, high quality, and fully featured, don't buy anything until you take a look at it. It is an awesome, amazing monitor. What does it come with? Well, a number of things. I mentioned it was IPS. In-plane switching, or IPS, simply means that it has the best quality panel. Its viewing angles is 178 degrees from side to side. The color reproduction, the contrast and brightness do not vary as you move left and right and up and down. It's a very beautiful monitor. 100% sRGB color reproduction. That's actually really good. Very few monitors can claim that. What does that mean? If you are working on images or video for online production, this will accurately reproduce colors in photographs and videos to allow you to consistently do a variety of photo and video work accurately. Cheaper monitors generally can't do that. It has a very capable base. It has height, swivel, and tilt adjustments. It has a 4-port USB 3.0 super speed hub built into it. It has all the input ports you'll need, which largely consist of DisplayPort, which is what you should be using with a monitor of this caliber, and a 6-millisecond response time for things like gaming. Yes, you can play games on it. No, it isn't advertised as a gaming monitor, but it works just fine for gaming. I know, I game on mine. Now you might say, wait a minute, how do you game on yours when it's sitting here new in the box? And yes, I'll show you, it's sealed, it's brand new in the box. I just bought this last week. All of the comments I've made about this monitor are not based upon me reading spec sheets or a product brochure. I already own one of these. In fact, 6 months ago on my channel, I reviewed it, back when they were $900, and I thought they were a deal then. This is a crazy deal now. Why did I buy another one? And yes, I did buy this off of Amazon last week for $620. Prices vary. Links to Amazon and Newegg will both be in the video description below. Go check it out, buy it wherever it costs the least. I bought another one because I'm so happy with my current one, I wanted an extra to be able to expand my workflow and be able to do more with it. It is an awesome, amazing monitor. I love it. And I'm speaking from experience, because the one that is in the other room that is on my desk that I showed you 6 months ago on my channel, I've owned that for almost a year now. I use it every day. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It is a great, beautiful monitor, easy to look at, gorgeous color, fast response time. I do my YouTube videos on it, I work on it, I play games on it. This is a great monitor. And for $620, I bought another one. Now, how does this compare to other large monitors? You may say, well, that sounds wonderful and great, but I'm interested in, this monitor or that monitor. All right, fair enough. First of all, I'm not going to compare this to cheaper monitors. If you're looking for a $200 monitor, you don't cross-shop a $600 and $200 monitor, so I'm not going to talk about those. But let's talk about what else is in this price point. You can, for about $700, $650 to $750, you can get one of the new ultra wide, the 21.9 34-inch 1440p monitors. How does this compare? Glad you asked. A 34-inch ultra wide actually has 10% less screen space on it than this does. This is actually bigger at 32 inches. And the reason for that is as the monitors get wider, you need more and more inches to actually have the same amount of square inches of screen space. Because this is a 16.9 and those are 21.9, at 32 inches, this is actually a larger monitor in terms of square inches of screen real estate. It's taller but narrower. It also has 8.3 million pixels. The 34-inch ultra-wides have 5 million pixels. More pixels, larger screen space, better color accuracy, and higher resolution. Furthermore, do you play games? Virtually every game made in the past 10 years supports the 16:9 format of this monitor. A lot of games that are still coming out today still do not properly support the ultra-wide 21:9s. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is a good example of a monitor that doesn't really support it properly. Now, plenty of other games do. Grand Theft Auto 5 supports it perfectly. But there are still brand new games that don't support it. So with this size, you have full compatibility. Furthermore, I can also tell you that if you want to do work and productivity, maybe gaming is not your thing, this is the absolute perfect size for two 8.5 by 11 full-size pages displayed side by side at perfect color and perfect clarity and resolution. They're totally, completely readable. Open Microsoft Word, put it in 2-page view, take a real 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, stick it up to the monitor, the size matches, and it's completely and totally readable. You can't do that on a 1080p monitor, but you can do it on a 4K monitor. That's pretty cool. So that's the 34-inch ultra-wides in the $650 to $750 price range. What about other 4K monitors? Well, there are other 4K monitors to consider. At this size, nothing competes in price. There's really nothing in this price range at the 32-inch size to even bother looking at. What about smaller? Now, there are some reasonable 27 and 28-inch 4K monitor options to consider. I have reviewed some of them in the past. I actually have one more to review, a 27-inch Acer IPS 4K monitor that I'll be taking a look at in the next week or two. They're worth considering. Those monitors are generally in the $400 to $450 price range. Some have what's called TN panels, some have IPS panels. Two I've previously reviewed on this channel have TN panels, an Acer and a Samsung monitor. Keep in mind that in terms of color quality and viewing angle, those panels can't remotely touch the quality of this. Having looked at the one I recommended previously, which was the Acer 28-inch 4K gaming monitor, at the time I reviewed that monitor, it was $500. It's actually down to $450 on Amazon at the moment. But at the time I reviewed that monitor, these were $750. $450 or $500 and $750 are not in the same price category. $450 and $620 are getting awfully close. Furthermore, because that monitor is a TN panel, well, let's just say it doesn't look nearly as good as this does. Now, I know some people are going to say, but TN panels are faster for gaming, right? They have a faster response time. Yes, they do. But you know what? Once you've looked at one of these, you'll never go back. Once you have looked at an IPS panel, you just can't go back to a TN panel. I will, in a future video, put that Acer 28-inch TN panel next to this and see if I can't show on camera what the differences are. But if you can stretch your budget, if you can come up with about $600-ish, assuming this is still for sale, this is what you want to take a look at. Enough talking. How about we take a look at a monitor? Now, this is heavy, so I got to be careful. More so than most of the other monitors I've reviewed, this is not a monitor you want to move around any more than you have to. This weighs 28 pounds. It is heavy. It has a heavy base, it has a heavy panel, it has a heavy screen, and it has quality all over it. Again, if it sounds like I'm gushing, not my first one. I bought another one. It's that good. Yes, I'll turn this around so you can see it. When we open it up, it's styrofoam. It's not overly complicated. Let me get this flap open. Now, I'm doing this on a raised desk because I'm filming it. You might want to do this on the floor where it has nowhere to fall. I am going to be very, very careful. Knock on wood. Because the whole thing has to slide out of the box. The way you may want to open it is to put it on the floor and pull it out of the box rather than tilting it. You may want to lift a flap up. Another option is to actually turn the whole box on its side and lift the box off of it, but you got to be careful because it's sandwiched between two pieces of styrofoam and you don't want it to open up. If you have a helper, a second person, it's much easier. I have to do this myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the box edge around, and I am going to give this a tug and see if I can't get it to slide out. Remember, 28 pounds, it's heavy. So when you open this, and yes, I've opened one of these before, but it was 9 months ago. I've slept since then. There we go. Now there is a top and bottom to this, and it's labeled top, and there's arrows on the styrofoam right here. So when you open up the end, you may need to flip the entire box over on its side. You want to make sure the up arrows are up. And the reason for that is because all the accessories are here, and you're going to want to lift this off with the panel on the bottom. Let me make sure I have it centered on the desk. This is big. It's actually not the largest monitor that I have ever reviewed on this channel. I actually reviewed a Philips 43-inch computer monitor on this channel. No, I didn't keep it. Yes, it was a nice monitor. It was actually too big. It wasn't usable. It was so big, so I ended up selling it. And it's out of stock, and they don't make it anymore anyway, so that doesn't matter. Note, save the box. Save the box, save the packing material. If you ever need warranty service, or you ever move, or you ever sell the monitor, the box, you're going to need the box. Save the box. Save the styrofoam. A manual, which you shouldn't need. Now, from having pulled the styrofoam out of the box, I can feel the static electricity. So I'm going to ground myself because I don't want to touch this while I have static electricity charged on me. There are a lot of cables. I will cover the cables in just a second. I'm going to move the monitor this way, and I'm going to go ground myself, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. This is the base covered in foam. It just comes off with a piece of tape. By the way, if you're not interested in seeing the unboxing, about 2 or 3 minutes, just skip forward in the video and it'll be sitting on the desk, and then I'll show you all the features. Save all the foam. You may need it. This is a really, really nice base. Very easy to attach, however, just one screw. Very nice and weighted. And then this comes right off just like that. And there we go, no static. I'm always, whenever something's packed in foam, I really wish computer companies would not use foam. They should go to cardboard boxes because all the foam does is attract static electricity. Make sure you're grounded. Touch the back metal of your computer case when it's plugged into the wall. Touch a ground to earth. Touch the plate of a door frame. Touch something that's going to ground you before you do this. Save your foam. Now this foam is actually split in the middle, and that's on purpose. And that's because it makes it really easy to take out. But before you take it out, attach the base. The base is really, really easy to attach. The shape on the bottom of the base is actually shaped to only fit on one way. And then there are tabs which will fit in right there. Now, you can use a screwdriver on the bottom of the base, or there is a handy pull-out ring you can use to screw it in manually. There we go. I'm actually going to grab a screwdriver and tighten that. Screwdriver. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I think it's worth making sure that the base is firmly attached. It takes a flathead, by the way, not a Phillips. So I'll set that over there. This, pick it up by the base and simply tilt it straight onto the desk, just like so. And yes, it's heavy. That is heavy. Save your foam. I know I say that a lot. And I will turn this towards you. And then the foam comes right off. Put that over there. Is there, oh, yep, there is more foam. Let me turn it this way. This is just protective covering. You know you've got a nice monitor when it's packed in foam, it's wrapped in foam, and then it's got the styrofoamy thing on the front of it. This is just 4 pieces of tape. Save this as well. When I'm spending $600 on a monitor, I save my packing material. These monitors have excellent warranties, so if you ever need to send it in, it's very handy to have. Make sure you don't let the tape get on the screen. Oh, that's nice. That's actually bubble material. It's a soft foam with bubble material to protect the screen. You're getting a premium monitor. It's worth the money. You're buying a premium monitor, you're getting premium features. Look how big this is. This is huge. Note, the light reflection you're seeing right now is not the monitor's fault. I have 2 very large, powerful light boxes on either side of the camera, and that's the reflection you're seeing. In a normal office environment, this has no reflection. But I have lights here in my filming studio that are so bright that they'll reflect on anything. You have, I love this monitor. I am so excited to have another one of these, and I am so excited for the price. Let me talk about its features. First of all, I just showed you the height adjustment. The height adjustment goes all the way down there and all the way up top. One finger. Very smooth, very high quality. This is a 28-pound monitor. Well, the whole thing with the base is. One finger, it moves very easily. Side-to-side adjustment. The swivel moves quite far. Now, I don't have it centered on the desk. I should probably, here, let me center it on the desk. So if you need to swivel it side to side, that is one stop. I'm using one finger, going all the way around. That's the other stop. I don't have it quite centered, but the swivel is more than most people would ever possibly use. What about tilt? It tilts forward to a negative, I'm going to guesstimate that's 5 to 10 degrees, and then a positive, oh shoot, that's probably 30 degrees. The reflection you're seeing now are the overhead fluorescent lights because I'm in an office. But you're never going to look at your monitor this way, so that's overkill. Right about there is probably where most people will put it. So you can adjust the height to where you're sitting to put your eye level where your chair is, roughly about 2/3 the way up the screen. Let's take a look at the side of the monitor. On the side here, you can see 2 USB 3.0 ports. Now, this doesn't have a pivot, but for a 32-inch monitor, it doesn't need one. That would be crazy overkill to have a pivot at this size. How do I show you this? You know what? I can't really show you because of where the camera and this is, but I'll turn it all the way around, and you'll take my word for it. Underneath here, easily accessible, are the USB hub, and I mentioned I'd show you the cables earlier. They provide it. This cable, one end plugs into a USB 3.0 port on your computer. The other end plugs in here. There are 2 more USB ports here, USB 3 ports, and then the 2 on the side. So you have a total of 4 USB 3.0 ports. Use this for easy access to memory sticks or to external hard drives without having to reach down to your computer and find a port. Also under here, you'll find multiple video inputs. There's really only one you generally should use. Now, it has HDMI 1.4. Why? Because this monitor didn't come out last week, and HDMI 2.0 is a little bit too new for it. So for 4K use, the only input you should use is the DisplayPort 1.2 at 60 Hertz. Can you plug in HDMI devices? Yes. But ideally, you'd only want to plug in a 1080p HDMI device in order to get 60 Hertz out of the HDMI. Just to be clear, you can't use the HDMI to get 4K at 60 Hertz or 60 frames per second refresh rate. You have to use the DisplayPort. And they provide a cable, and it is right here. Full-size DisplayPort to DisplayPort. All new graphics cards that have come out in the past couple of years generally have a DisplayPort and will support this at 4K. Even inexpensive video cards, even $100 video cards, will support that just fine. Now, they do provide you with an HDMI cable in case you need one. I love this. It's a standard power cable. What do I mean by standard power cable? Too many monitors these days come with proprietary external power bricks that if you misplace them or lose them, you have no way to power the monitor. This uses a standard 3-prong power cord. This is the same thing you use for your computer, the same thing this has been 20 plus years this has been used. So in the event you lose this cable or it gets damaged, any cheap $3 replacement cable will do the job because it has a standard 3-prong computer power plug instead of some proprietary nonsense. It also has an audio cable. This is a 3.5-inch to 3.5-inch jack. This monitor comes with speakers. Don't use them. Why? Because they're cheap, inexpensive speakers meant for emergency backup use only. I have listened to them. They're terrible. Don't even bother. If you're buying a $600+ monitor and plugging it into a very nice computer, spend $30 and buy a decent set of speakers for your desk. Or even spend $10 and they'll be much better than what's in here. So don't use the built-in speakers. But ignoring the built-in speakers, everything else about this monitor is absolutely wonderful. Here, I'll show you this tilt so you can see how far forward it tilts. And then you saw the reflection before. I mean, that's tilted so far back as to be crazy, but it will do it. There's another neat feature of this. You won't be able to see it, so take my word for it. On the front is a magnet on the base right here where my finger is pointing with a little paperclip symbol. There's a magnet in here. You can put paper clips or other metal items on the base and they will stick. So if you're the kind of person who likes to keep a few paper clips or some other type of small metallic devices here, it's in the base, stick them there. I don't personally use it, but it's kind of a cool feature if you care about such things. Size. Let me show you the size comparison really quick between this and a 27-inch. Now, I'm not going to turn anything on, and I can't plug in anything in because I don't have a computer sitting here. But I am going to go grab a 27-inch monitor and put it next to this so you can see the size. In front of me, this is an Acer 27-inch 1080p IPS display. I've reviewed this in my channel before. This is actually the monitor in my game performance and Windows setup videos that is actually on the other side of the monitor facing me. This is the one I use every day in my shooting. This is 27 inches diagonally from point to point. This Acer is 32 inches diagonally from point to point. Now, I only mention this as 1080p simply because I've reviewed it and I'm mentioning it. Resolution does not determine the size of the screen, and the size of the screen does not determine resolution because you can get 4K, 1440p, and 1080p in all of these sizes. There's a lot more screen real estate, and when you have them on, you can see the detail on the 4K screen much better than you can on a 27-inch screen. Now, some people are going to say, but isn't everything too small? Doesn't Windows scale everything really small? I'll tell you from personal experience, I run Windows at 150% DPI scaling. It works beautifully. I edit my YouTube videos with 150% DPI scaling on the 32-inch 4K monitor. The size of the icons, the size of the text, everything from Microsoft Word to Adobe products to web browsing to gaming work perfectly on this monitor at 150% DPI scaling. You can set it to 200 if you want, but 150 works really nice for me, and that's very easy to set in the control panel. So I hope this side-by-side comparison was, I hope this overall comparison was helpful. I hope that you at least check this out. If you are in the market for a big, nice, beautiful monitor, 4K, 32-inch, $600-ish, 100% sRGB color reproduction accuracy, 6 millisecond response time. It's not the fastest response time of any IPS monitor on the market, but it's close. The very best IPS monitors are only 4 milliseconds, and you'll never notice the difference between 4 and 6 milliseconds. I game on mine. It's very close. It games just fine. Great height adjustments, great USB hub. Have I gushed enough? What can I say? Check out the links in the description below. Both Newegg and Amazon sell this monitor. See who is selling it cheapest. Go buy it there. Like this video if you like it. Don't if you don't. Remember to subscribe to my channel for the big huge red button down there. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications and updates to future upcoming videos, such as when I put the 28-inch TN panel Asus on the desk and this and plug them both into a computer and show you the difference. I will do that coming up shortly. Leave your questions and comments in the comments section below. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.